All right, hello everybody. This is my third of three videos on the iPhone and spirituality. And in this one, I'm going to talk about the development of the iPhone and, in fact, that the creation of the iPhone came from communication with the metaphysical. So it's ironic because here I'm using the iPhone technology, which you know exists, to explain the iPhone inside all of us and that metaphysical communications are real. Yet, the very development of radio wave communication and the development of the iPhone came from metaphysical communication. So metaphysical communication came first, radio wave communication came second, iPhone came third. Okay? So for you diehard skeptics out there who just want practical technology, understand where it came from. Okay, we are an iPhone system, we are a radio wave system. And the very things you see with that technology is, in fact, what exists here. All right, begin with Nikola Tesla. Nikola Tesla was the guy who came up with radio wave communication systems. He was the man who came up with the idea. He developed each of the component parts. He built the entire system. All radio wave communication stems from this one amazing man. Now, where did he get this idea from? He has said that he got the basic idea from his communication with the metaphysical. See, like myself, Nikola Tesla always had a strong communication with his metaphysical friends. They're always talking to him, always hanging around. They would talk to him, they would give him visions, all kinds of other things. So he was getting messages from them and communicating with them regularly. So then one day he thought, well, maybe we can do the same thing on human terms. See, if the metaphysical friends are communicating with me through the air, maybe I can communicate with other humans through the air. Okay? And he says, my brain is like a giant receiver. Maybe I can make a giant external receiver that can receive and then translate, just like my brain is a receiver and is able to translate. See? So it's because of his years, days, months, years experience, metaphysical communications and talking and visions. They says, why can't we do this human to human? That was the beginning of his idea for radio wave communication. Now from there, he used his amazing brilliance and his labor to create every component, develop the entire system from scratch, put it together, and create radio wave communications. Okay? Amazing. But the basic idea, can we do this, came from metaphysical communication, and he knew that we are receivers, and we do have these translators that can voices and visions. So can I do the same thing, human to human? Okay, so metaphysical came first, radio communication technology came second from that. All right, now a few years later, he actually wrote the fact that he believes in the future we will each have devices which are small enough to fit in our pocket, from which we can communicate to anyone around the world. And their voices will sound just as clear as if they were standing next to us. He thought up that first iPhone smartphone idea. He didn't develop the microchip technology, but he could see where this was going. He could see where this could happen. He could see that in the future. Okay. So, you diehard skeptics, radio communication idea, the technology we have, came from the basic concept of metaphysical receivers. The first idea for a cell phone was really also from Tesla, who could see where this was going. And again, small enough to fit in our pocket. Our brain is that small. I mean, our brain is a nice size, but if you were to compare the brain to the cell phone, give approximate size versus the giant, radio towers. Yeah, it's there. So he could see all that. He says, well, I know what's here, and I know what we can develop, and I know where this can go. Now we get to Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs got the idea for the iPhone while meditating at a Buddhist retreat. Okay? Buddhist retreat. All right? So he's at a Buddhist retreat, quiet area, meditating, and this idea for the iPhone came to him. Now, the technology still had to be developed, but the basic idea of iPhone, the smartphone, where we could communicate voices, texts, images, videos, and much more around the world, he got the basic concept that this could be done from a Buddhist retreat when meditating. Okay, what does that mean? That means that he probably got the idea from metaphysical people talking to him and giving the idea. Okay? He didn't elaborate any further about exactly how that happened, but there were one or two things happened. One, they actually came and talked to him and said, hey, here's an idea you might want to work on. Right? They happened to that to me. They said, hey, they told me things. Would you, you might want to work more on this, this type of technology. We didn't have all the answers, but, might want to work on it. That's when we developed it. That's metaphysical communication before the iPhone being developed. The other way could have been that just the very fact that he might have been receiving images in general at the Buddhist retreat, like Tesla was in his life, gave him the general idea, in general terms, that maybe we could do this. So it was either specific idea or general just because of communications and visions he had. But it was still, either way, metaphysical friends communicating with him while meditating at the Buddhist retreat. Okay. All right. So, for you diehard skeptics out there who discount visions and metaphysical realities, understand that we are an iPhone system. We are an iPhone system. Reception is here. Visual playback is here. And you must understand that the ideas for radio wave communication, the idea for the cell phone, the idea for the iPhone smartphone, those ideas came from people who were getting direct messages from the metaphysical. Okay? They knew if I was getting messages, then maybe I can do it with humans on this level. And in some cases, it was more specific with specific ideas now and then. That's elaborating more than I know specifically. I have to get more into the readings. Perhaps they said other more details about that. I just know from my experience that sometimes they give me general ideas and sometimes they give me specific ideas. But in any case, regardless, no matter even if it's no ideas, the images are talking to me, it's an iPhone system. Okay? All right. So, video number 3 of 3 on this concept. So, we are an iPhone system, and all you practical, die-hard, grounded earth-only people should understand from these 3 videos. Metaphysical is real. Visions are real. Metaphysical communication is real. We are receivers. We can display it up here. We can hear it in our heads. It's all real. Just like your iPhone system is real. Same thing, same system. It's all reality. Okay? That's it.